What's up, traders? Welcome back to the video. I want to go over overcoming fear and greed. I'm going to mostly go over greed here because this is what I experienced this past week of greed. It happens to all of us. It sneaks in on all of us, no matter how many years you've been trading. So I think it's important to just discuss how can we limit our greediness in the market. So this is going to be my full-on week in review. I wasn't greedy the whole time, but it does affect the whole weekly P&L. So first off, on a Monday, you can see all my moves are going to look the same as yours should as well. But this one, using the anchor view up plays here in the lower time frame, I'm anchored from the low day. We get a nice break. You can enter there as the first entry. I see a retest with an A2 and bounce off again. So I like that strength showing that the sellers are still in. I take that short for about 1.3R. You can see this white line down here. I don't get the full move, but a nice trade. I'm looking for 1R. I'm in, I'm out. I'll come back tomorrow. And then I come in on Wednesday. No trades on Tuesday. I look to take it long after this break of the daily VWAP and the high of day and the news. Later on in the session, you take a loss. Okay, no big deal. But then I stick around and I flip my buy. So you can see the long was up here. Doesn't work out. Now I'm just going to flip for shorts because we're making a new low a day on NASDAQ. This is SPX. But I'm feeding that bias over here on the same asset. Just a different slightly move as it's making a new low from the previous structure. It's not a new low day. You can see that's down here. We hold yesterday's high back underneath this previous structure's anchor VWAP. You can see it chops around, but it's respecting it. It's holding underneath it, so that's my sign to still stay in. And you can see this strong bullish bar breaking that previous structure. That's where I get full out. And you can see right on a dime, it flips and then goes 2.2R, but I'm out of the move at that point. So with these newer plays, it is not concrete yet. That's what I'm still working on, so this is a good lesson. You got to win. You got to learn from your wins and your losses. In this one, should I be taking 50% off, full off? Should I add back in? Right? So it's very discretionary still, slightly a little bit, working to improve on it each and every day. So if I didn't take full out, I just took 50% off, then I'm able to fully recover. But since I took the loss trying to long it earlier, now I'm trying to short it and I still lose, well, what's the direction? I lost either way. But then I stick around. This is now NASDAQ, as I was saying. This does make a new low a day. Breaks right back above that low day VWAP. But you just remembered that previous trade I just went over, I went full out and it bit me. So in this case, I only take 50% off. And you can see it comes right back underneath that daily view up again, that low of day one. So I'm actually still in the move. And I actually add back in because my bias still stands. I took size off, but the bias still looks good. So I'm right back in with the same amount of risk, which I think is right here. So this is what it looks like when I add back in. Basically the same price. The bias still stands. It actually made a new smaller low from that first price. So I like the move. And you can see it goes 1.2R. Where did this one go? The first entry, it goes about 2.8 by the end of it, but from the re-entry, it goes 1.2, and remember that first entry was the same price, so they both go 1R, and it's very quick in the pin, but I don't take profit. I didn't have a TP set, so it then pulls back on me, but I didn't take any profit because I guess I was greedy from those two losses, that the P&L showing here wasn't maybe enough to cover those losses, or it wasn't big enough to satisfy me or be content with those winners, where if I didn't have those losses, just put it behind me. What am I trading right now? 1R? Okay, it's a winning trade. I'm in and I'm out. But there was that greed overhanging me of, we just took those back-to-back losses. Let's see if we could stretch this a little bit, get a little bit greedy, and try to maybe cover those two losses with one trade here. So that's also, and also I took that 50% loss in the beginning of this trade. So even though it went 1R, I'm still having that small piece of the loser, still not keeping me in the full green. So that's the lesson there, of course, of just being greedy. And then I think I skipped a note there. So it then pulls back on me, right? But the stop loss is locked, and I actually get tagged at break even. And it chops around, maybe comes back down to 1R here, where I could have gotten out. But again, stop loss to break even with no take profit set. You're just opening yourself up to a break even trade, and that's exactly what happened. So instead of a winner, back-to-back winners of the original position and the re-entry, I get a donut. I get nothing out of it. So now I just still have those two losses. And then this is the pin down here that I don't take the profits in initially, but I re-anchor from there because it is a new low. It breaks that. I'm in it. This one just straight up loses depending on where you have your stop loss. Mine was just at this Asia range low. The previous low day VWAP, you can see it holds it twice and then falls for another new low. So like I was saying with the discretionary part, the stop losses aren't in concrete yet either of like the previous structure. Two structures ago, a key level, right? Because if this was a bigger stop, yes, it'd be painful to sit through all this drawdown and chop. But the buy still stands and it makes another new low. So I had the direction right all day after that first long loss. Once I flipped it, I was correct trying to short it back here, shorting it again there. And shorting it here, I was right in the direction, but where your stop loss is and how you take profits and execute, that's what determines how much money you make, if you make any money at all. It's not necessarily picking the direction. It's not easy, but it's easier to pick the bias than it is to get in, get out, follow your rules, clean trading, right? So you can see I wasn't wrong trying to short it, but I somehow still didn't make money. I know why, because I was greedy and I didn't take profits. So I think it's just, you got to be, like I said in the beginning a little bit, put those 2 losses behind you. This is a new trade, treat it individual. What am I supposed to do here? 1R, 1.5R, what's my profit target? And don't try to recover that previous loss, no matter how big or small it was. It's just not trying to hit a home run. Be content with the single. You'll still be red on the day maybe, but smaller red than you were if you just didn't take this winning trade and didn't take profit. So I think you just have to have a long-term focus of, yeah, I might not recover these losses today, but I had a nice trade here. I executed well. I followed my rules. 2 losses and a win. I'm slightly down on the day. I'll come back tomorrow. Instead, I had 2 losses, a break even, and maybe a third loss. I should know. But you know what I mean? It's just not the same. The trades were the same, but the execution just determines that I'm still going to have a pretty big red day compared to what it could have been. And then I come back in on Thursday. I did do a good job of putting those losses behind me. That Wednesday is over. You didn't do what you're supposed to do. You didn't execute the greatest. It's over with. Put it behind you. Don't revenge trade now today. Try to make that back even more. And even that goes to say with the previous Wednesday, I didn't still just try to keep on hammering it, keep on getting it back. It's like, all right, well, you had your chance. You could have made some of it back, if not all of it back. But you screwed up. You didn't follow your rules. So you're going to have to pay the price. But I didn't make the damage even more by keep trying to overtrade that wasn't on my edge. Like I didn't short it in here. I didn't short it later on. I didn't try to long it, right? I still was on edge, still taking good trades, but my execution of taking profit and where my stop loss was not clean. And it still is fairly new, so it was good lessons to pull out of it. So next time these things present and I do take these trades, I have a little bit better understanding of what I should do. So anyways, this is the Thursday, the next day right after. I put those losses behind me as best I can. We got another, now this is long. Anchored from the high of day, we're clearly making higher highs, higher lows all morning. We break above that high day. We retest, kind of like a 2 candle off of it. I'm in long there with the stop loss at that previous structure. You can see again, it holds it. It's respecting above it, so it still is showing strength, although it is chopping around a little bit. Buyers are still present. And then I get 1.4 out of it before 8:30 news, so I'm out of it. You can see it does come higher on the day, but you can see over here, that's the 8:30 news. It would have pinned me out anyways, so I'm still only looking for 1R regardless, but it's a nice winner to recover, not the previous day's Wednesday, right? Not all this noise of these break-evens and these losses, but with the winner on Monday and the winner on Thursday, and then the Wednesday losses, I was able to recover and end the week slightly green, basically break even. So that was the good part about it, that I didn't do too much damage on Wednesday with the over trading, not taking profits, the donuts, right? I was still able to find good trades, and when I did execute, get in and get out at 1R, hold in through the VWAP holds, follow your rules, I made money. It's when I didn't follow my rules of taking profit, taking size off, not getting full out, respecting VWAP, stuff like that, that's when my P&L gets skewed and it doesn't look as clean. So you just got to throw away the greed, whether it's you had a loss or not. You're just greedy regardless because you just want to make 2R in this trade, whether you had a loser prior or not. Just what do your rules tell you to do? The rules should tell you how to think and should act for you so that you don't have to leave it up to greed, right? For a lot of traders, I just recommend to them, if their take profit's 1R, we'll say, put a take profit in at 1R. Because if you leave it up to you to manually exit it, now you're opening yourself up to potentially being greedy and then moving it, letting it ride, and then it comes back and stops you out. But if there's a take profit at 1R, then there's zero chance that you could screw it up. It's either going to hit it or it's not. So I think just longer term focus of being like, yeah, I took those losses on Wednesday. I didn't execute my rules how I would have liked and how I know I can, right? I did it on Monday and I did it on Thursday. I got to be able to do it on Wednesday as well. But just being greedy, I mean, it happens to all of us. The numbers, especially when you see a trade that you're in and you like the direction you're in, why do you want to get out so soon, right? Oh, I can see the potential upside on this. Like it could keep going. It could also not keep going, right? So we're just looking to bag our wins, get in, get out. But also with the fear, like I didn't have fear of losing more on this Thursday after that Wednesday because I took good trades. You should have confidence that, hey, the trades I took weren't bad. Like I know how to read the market. I know how to get in It's just my execution once I'm in that wasn't clean. So I still have confidence of taking this setup on the Thursday because I know it can work out and I know I can read it well. So it's just, I have confidence in that. I don't have fear of taking another loss because I saw that they could have been winners the day prior. Now let me just get in, get 1R, and I'm out. I didn't look to stretch this 3R so that I could really recover on the week and really end green. That's not in my rules. My rules were 1R. There's high impact news coming in. I'm going to get in, get out. I'm going to survive another day. I'm going to come back next week. So I think just it was a great lesson for the week and the day itself of just, even with those shots on Wednesdays getting beat down, taking the break even, I was still able to have a green week, a solid week, a good winning week. So I think you just have to take a longer term view at it of you're going to have losing days, whether it's off tilt or just a great trading day and it's still just red. They're going to happen. You can't let that snowball into being greedy the next day or the next week because you want to make more. You want to follow your rules, but you're just finding that you're struggling with it. It's probably because you're greedy or you have fear that it's not going to present again, or it's not going to present again for a few more days, or it's not going to present as often as you'd want. Just to sit back, let the setups come to you, and just execute what you're supposed to do, right? You should have a written trading plan with your rules telling you how you're supposed to get in, how much size, if it goes against you, when you're going to take size off. Are you going to take size off? Or you're going to take it full off, right? It should all be laid out for you so you don't have to think and wonder and leave it up to you. Like, do I want to do that? Because you're not going to want to take profit when you see it ripping in your direction. But you're supposed to at this level, then do it at that level. All right? So greed happens to all of us, whether you're year 1 of trading, year 5, year 10. It's just natural. It's going to happen. As humans, whether trading or not, we're going to be greedy. It's just important to not let it snowball and wreck you and set you back 2 weeks, right? I recovered it the next day. It's like it didn't even happen, but it could have really got, if I was greedy and overtraded, tried to revenge, get it back. I could have dug myself a hole that could have maybe taken me a month to get out of. And then at that point, I'm just wasting time. So you're going to be greedy at some points. You just try to limit it, how often it happens and how greedy you are on those days, and live to trade another day. All right. So I hope you find the trades themselves valuable and useful, but also just how I was able to react to them, overcome the greed, overcome the slightly rule breaking, right? So hope you enjoyed the video. I'll catch you in the next one.